Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 20th of December. So looking at the euro dollar first, and we're pretty close to the recent 14-year lows there, so it's not too far off. If we were to see a bit of continuation, I wouldn't be too surprised if that levels was potentially hit. Now, we still have a weekly pivot above us, and any reversal, any change of direction would still have that as a target at the moment. It's not a million miles away. We've got also got the daily pivot above us this morning, which again could act as a target, and it may be an initial target. What we've seen here, though, and what's a little bit uncomfortable for the long side, of course, is the lower highs, lower lows sort of pattern that we've got there. But that trend could be changed if it changes after 8 o'clock. May look for the long side, even if it's just for the pivot there, but would like to see if it could hold on. And if it breaks the 50, well, then maybe we could be on towards the weekly pivot in the next couple of days, maybe today, tomorrow. But it may be a big ask looking at the as I say, the current price action. If we can get literally up to the daily pivot, it may be a good move. Now, if that fails, and where it's most likely to fail is into the 20s, 60-20 sitting there. If it fails into that area, well, look for another test of this daily S1 and maybe more. We went down that way in the end yesterday, eventually hitting the daily S1. There's almost, well, there is a bit of divergence running across the alleys here, really. So, as I say, there is that potential for a reversal, at least back to that daily pivot. Looking at cable then, a pound dollar. Well, sell off yesterday, almost bullishly engulfed bullish Arami. So bearishly engulfed the bullish Arami. There we go. Easy for me to say. It's still looking weak with again this sort of pattern on the bigger time frames of lower highs, lower lows coming into play. However, we may have just, I mean, it's almost again divergence sort of looking pattern going across the lows here. It really depends how it sits up from this sort of value point of view. If we can start breaking these sort of 21s, we could be on for the daily pivot. Maybe a move back to the 50, and well, again, we've got the weekly pivot above us. It looked like it would be an easy touch yesterday morning, but prices just didn't get there, and it just pushed up a little bit, ran into double tops and rolled over. So for the daily pivot, but then on and onwards. So as I said, it looks weak, although there are a couple of points there, and there was a bit of divergence on the 4-hourly. So there is that potential. Now, if it does break to the downside, it's quite easy to draw a trend line across the lows at the moment, and I would be certainly looking for the S1 area. Say that's going to be post 8 o'clock with these moves. Okay, dollar yen carried on pushing up to the upside there. Early data coming out, came out extremely early, the Bank of Japan data. That's basically said everything's in order and in line, and it wasn't any big surprises there, but seeing the yen pushing back up towards the monthly R1. Little to be shocked of that at the moment. There's no real obvious masses already through the weekly daily pivots and hit the R1. It's well, maybe if it breaks through the 60-minute 20, maybe a move back south again, little in the way, as I say, for targets at the moment on this. We have put some a higher low, higher high sort of coming into play, but it could just continue on this push up. We'll see how we run, but I haven't really got a target or trade to the downside at the moment. That may change as the day moves on. Aussie dollar, well, yesterday continued to sell off, closed right at the lows there. Again, there's this sort of divergent sort of movement on the 4-hourly bars there, slightly higher RSI coming in here. It's a one hell of a sell-off there. It's a bit oversold on the dailies here as well. So there's a possibility we could see a bit more of a retrace here. I mean, it's quite extended away from the 240, 21, etc. So may see a move that way. At the moment, we've got the daily pivot within a spitting distance. If it can't make that, well, from where we are, it's weak, and it maybe should be selling on the break of the lows down to the S1 and maybe beyond. But the ranges are tightening up here. Minutes came out pretty much as expected, show neutral stance in policy, so there's no signs of a change either way on the interest rates there. So that's pretty much the Aussie dollar. As I said, there is a sort of divergence running across the hourlies, 4 hourlies. Maybe, I mean, if it breaks daily pivot, it could be on for the daily R1, daily 50, daily 50, the hourly 50. Any break of the lows, well, the S1's the obvious place. Right, Canadian dollar. Okay, so continues shoving up, although the price of oil also jumped $1. But it's just showing a weakness here across the market, strength in the US dollar, really. At the moment, it looks like we're heading back towards the monthly pivot, but still got an untouched weekly pivot below, so any sell-offs, well, would be looking for the daily pivot there as well initially. At the moment, it just looks like it's going to continue to the upside. There was, well, arguably there may have been a bit of divergence into yesterday's R2 there on the hourlies, but maybe if it can sell off, break the lows this morning, but it would be those 21s are in the way there, maybe just getting in the way of the daily pivot. But then if it can move over, we could see a bit more of a sell-off. But at the moment, it's looking like this could be further upside, and the R1 could potentially be hit. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. News-wise today, there's not a lot of significant news out. We've got wholesale sales coming out for Canada at 1:30, which may get you a 2-pip movement or something massive. But nothing else today. We've already had all the data, so we're down all purely to the technicals. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great one. Bye for now.